Hey there, my name is Ellie, and welcome to the Storytime with Ellie podcast. Today's guest is a certified life coach who has transformed hundreds of individuals worldwide over the past 3 years. She specializes in helping Asian and immigrant women build self-esteem and maximize their personal and professional potential for success and fulfillment. Let's welcome Ichka Jackson.
Hi,
Hey there, come on in. How are you doing?
very good. Well, thank you for the introduction. That was beautiful.
Yeah, thank you for being on today. And we always have that few minutes before to warm up a little bit, right? So we got to get to know each other a little bit. And you were living in California. Now you're in New York, my home state, New
Yeah.
York. And you love it there, as you said.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll tell you, like I lived so by the way, originally I'm from Mongolia.
Mongolia. Okay.
So we kind of like a landlocked country. So coming to California was kind of like a dream come true for a record because it's like by the beach, you know what I mean? So even
Yes.
I live by the beach. So I lived in California like literally for 10 years.
Mm.
And it was such a beautiful life. And I'm so grateful. I loved it, living by the beach, have an amazing experience. I have a lot of things. I have a lot of things done, but and I chose New York because I wanted to change the scenery of my life for some reason. I mean, I'll tell you, I was married and divorced. Just let's put it out there.
Well, that's
Uh,
why we're here,
so
right? That's why we're all coaches. We all got our stories
exactly.
and we all went it's our part of our journey. But right, to go from California to New York. Yeah,
I
wow.
know it's such a big move. I couldn't even believe I picked New York. I just didn't even know where I want to go, but I just knew that I want to get out of California. I'm kind of a little bit of over or done with the California thing.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, and I picked New York to be honest. I only have like a few friends around here, and I'm gonna make it. And I've been living here now for six
And
months, and
and
I'm loving it.
and how long were you there? How long were you in New York?
So it's been 6 months
Oh,
now.
6 months. Okay.
Yeah, I've been living here. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Mhm.
you're still a newbie.
Yes, it is. Yeah. But I'll
Okay,
tell you
cool.
again, it's just like the subway and everything, just there are lots to learn. But I love it. I don't know. There's
Good.
nothing disappoints me really,
Good.
other than maybe a little bit of cockroach and rats.
Oh
It
no.
freaks me out.
Well, you got
It freaks
exterminators
me
for
out.
that.
Oh, really? Yeah.
You got to call exterminators. I don't know. Well, you see them on the streets. Yeah, I think you do.
That's
Rats.
kind of what I mean
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
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 exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, it's interesting. I love New York. I haven't been there in the city in like 4 years because I moved to Florida. But I'm thinking maybe Christmas time I'll make my way back up there to Christmas
Well, let me
time.
know
It's
maybe.
changed. Yeah, yeah, we'll have to say hello there. But let's start. Can you share your journey on how you became a certified life coach and what inspired you to focus on helping Asian and immigrant women, I should say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I focus on Asians and immigrants because, like I just said, I
You're
am
from, mhm.
originally from Mongolia. I was born and grew up in Mongolia, basically. I moved here literally 11 years ago to America, basically. So the reason why I become a life coach is because after I moved here, like after literally 5 years later, I want to figure out what my passion is in my life because I was doing a accounting job. I just wasn't really happy about what I was doing. And I also like, America is kind of like a meant for like the opportunity and the freedom, right?
Mhm.
And I want to figure out what that means to me. You know what I mean? Um, so that's one of the reasons why I like kind of like getting into personal development thing and going to a lot of bunch of trainings, and that's kind of like where I started learning about myself, who I am. And there was a lot of like trauma you're gonna running into only because like it goes back to your past. When you're learning about yourself, you just kind of go back to the past and trauma, blah blah. I hated it, but again, you have to overcome it anyway.
Mm.
So at the time, I was a little bit of depressed, and I really just want to find out who I am, and also like I really want to make it to the America, like to be just having the freedom, having a freedom for myself. and what that means to me, basically. So that's why I got into the personal development. And throughout the journey of this personal development journey, I ran into a lot of life coaches actually.
Mm,
And I actually didn't even know life coaches before. I didn't even know, and I was kind of a little depressed at the time, and I couldn't figure out have to get out of it, or like I just like I want I want something, but I just didn't even know what it was and couldn't even figure out on my own, basically. So basically these life coaches are just so amazing. They're just very empowering. They're non-judgmental. They're very supportive. They can also help you to guide you to figure out what you really wanted, like within yourself. Because like we think that, I mean, I used to think like you could find things outside of yourself. That's what I was hoping to, by the way, at
right.
the time. Um, but like, more I learning about myself, more I listen, again, more I getting coached, I realized that like whatever that you're looking for is within yourself. Sometimes it's like I hate to say it because like that means you just have to like dive into yourself,
No,
like
I
you
know
know what I
exactly
mean.
what you're saying. Yeah.
It is it's such a journey, but this is something I realized I have to embrace it all the way. Um, so and yeah, after the training, I hired a coach. I worked with the coach, and I just loved it. I loved it. I love the pain. I love the discomfort. I love the inspiration. I love everything about it. That's when I decided to become a life coach. Yeah.
Interesting. Yes. And it's funny when you say that you loved did you say the pain?
Yeah. I have
You
to be honest,
yes, it's that's
yeah.
part of that's the challenge of and I relate to what you said because we're challenging ourselves and we call it pain. And through that we grow, right? So I love the way you stated that. It's so true, but I never heard anyone else say that. Go through the
Unfortunately,
pain.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
unfortunately, this is the way to grow. And again, in the
Yeah.
beginning, I'll tell you, I used to very like avoid, not like, again, I was hoping that, I don't have to suffer too much, or I don't have to go through the pain or the discomfort to get out, like, and I
Hmm.
was hoping it, but along the way, I realized, no, that's not the way. The only way is to like go through, right? So, but what does that mean? Is just, you experience everything, like the
Hmm.
good and the bad, and the, the sadness and the anger or the excitement, the happy. You go through all of it. You go through all of the, emotion and all of it in order to get out of it, in order to become the person who you want to be. And it's definitely it wasn't easy, but I think the reason why I said I love it is because I started loving it because I used to think like whenever I think about pain, I get again, it's just my mind goes to like just like run away, like wait, what? No, no, thank you, kind of,
Hmm.
right? But the reason why I said I love it is only because that is the way to
Grow.
kind of
Yeah.
grow and
Yeah.
get
I get it. That's
get there
why.
faster.
Yes, that's why I wanted to bring
So
that up. Totally. That's why I love that. And I use
thank
that phrase
you.
a lot. I'm like, oh, I'm in pain. I got to be in pain for a little bit. I got to say, and they'll be like, what are you talking about? I'm like, because that's our growth when we go through these stages. And unless you really go through them and understand them to even express that, the way you express that, I agree with you. And yeah, so now you are a life coach
Yes.
and do you have a website? You have
I do
everything
have a website. I'm
off.
happy to share with you later. Yeah.
You'll share that with me later. So people want to get a hold of you, they can get you on this website. Great. So we'll talk about that later. And let's see, would you say some of the challenges, because you work strictly with women, correct? You're mostly women or
Correct.
women? Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I the take. Yeah. So what are some of the challenges when you're working with the women? What
Before
comes
I
to
go
their
there, I want to share.
self-esteem? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Before you know what, I would just yeah. For me,
When they
the
come to
biggest
you, yeah,
thing,
like
yeah.
yeah, they come to
The,
you, what's some of the challenges that you face helping them with their
um,
self-esteem?
even I noticed that I think everything is happening. The biggest challenge that I've been faced in the past is also like I realized that every woman faces it anyway.
They face what?
We no. we face anyway. All women face it anyway. Like
Okay.
we all have at the end of the day, I believe I see that we all have the same similar challenges in life.
Right. Okay.
Meaning so one of my biggest challenge was for me was I never felt good enough. I'm
Okay. Well, yeah,
laughing
that
right
is
now.
that's a very common challenge. I mean, that's a very common one. Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
good one to tackle.
I'm only laughing because I also like what's funny is like I didn't even know that was the thing is holding me back. That every time whatever I try to do something, like I just never felt like I'm good enough
So
for
let's
these
focus on that.
things.
Let's focus. So
Yeah,
how, when women come to you, because
absolutely.
that's their biggest thing, how do you help them through that? What are some of your techniques, or what would you say when they come in and you see this
Sure.
person with no self-worth? No, I don't want to say it like that, but you see that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, like
So,
I just said earlier about the pain, right? I think
hmm
it's about to embracing it and it's about to accepting that.
hmm
And it's okay to feel that sometimes you don't feel good enough. It's like kind
Gotcha.
of like a contradictory a little bit
Okay.
because here's the deal about it. I also like realized that you like again, um, you have to accept where you are at, right? Like where
hmm
you are. Like, let's just say if you're not feeling good enough in your career, for example, right, and you haven't accomplished enough, or you didn't feel like you got what you wanted
Right.
in your career, or even in love, and it's a big thing as well.
hmm
And it's okay, like accept this. Yeah, I didn't get it. Yeah, maybe I wasn't feeling good enough at the time, and that's why I didn't get it, and it's okay. And so to embrace but yeah,
Do you have any kind of I don't want to say homework, but do you like
yeah,
I come in and I'm telling you, I don't know, I don't feel like I'm worth anything. I don't feel this, and I really have say how would you direct me? What would the first thing you would tell me? What's my first assignment? What
sure.
would you help me through when
So
I tell you that I don't know, I
very
just feel
first
like
thing is you have to be real and honest with yourself.
okay.
And just be honest with yourself and tell the truth about who you are and what you wanted.
Okay.
Yeah. Because often we think we want something, but we're not getting it because you're not good enough, so therefore you're not getting it,
In
right?
other
You
words,
have to tell yourself, yeah, dude, this is what I wanted. Like being yeah, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, is
Just
that
like
like
that.
sometimes we could have I don't want to call it ego problem, but is it sometimes we come in and we're battling something that we don't have, maybe we can't do it. So we beat ourselves up over that. So we have to like rewind ourselves to try to see what we can do and work from there up. Because it's like someone can come into you and start complaining, I'm not good enough. What are you trying to do? I'm trying to record 50 records this week. Well, maybe that's not in the cards. Is that kind of like,
That, that's
does that make sense?
exactly yeah, I know what you mean by it. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So
Like
that's so first
expectations.
we so the reason why I say that you want to meet yourself where you are and accept where you are
Mhm.
at is because so you have a lot of anger or you have a lot of disappointment, right? You have
hmm
to first of all you have to release all of the way. Like you have to
hmm
release it. And how do you do it? It's just to accept yeah, like I'm disappointed. Yeah, I didn't get what I wanted, or I
Right.
didn't record. I don't have the
Yeah.
like 10 records or 10 albums, whatever. So you didn't do it, right? Or you haven't
Right.
accomplished
Yeah.
it.
You got to
And
back
and
them out of it.
and
Gotcha.
yeah, so whatever the anger, whatever the
hmm
resentment that you have to face it with yourself. Yeah, I'm angry right now, or I'm very resentful, or I'm very disappointed, or I'm just accepting yourself. And again, here's what's gonna be: the more you accept, more you do that, and
hmm
you're gonna release the negativity like in your body. You
Great.
have to get it out of your system in order to be better. Because here's what's gonna happen: if you didn't do that, then when you take action in your life, and that thing is gonna come back again and again and again until you change your mind, or until you change your mindset, or just until you get let it out of all of the things that is
hmm
holding you back.
It's
You
identifying your.
cannot.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes, it does. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
It's
So
identifying what your problem is and understanding that, okay, so you didn't do 50 records, but accepting the fact that you didn't instead of beating
Yeah.
yourself up over it. Because that's what we do. Don't you think we do a lot? We do beat ourselves up a lot.
I still sometimes do that.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
but
what I'm saying. I know I do too.
we're, because it's like kind of like it seems like we're kind of conditioned to do that. It's awfully sad, to
Push.
be honest.
Yeah.
But because I'm a coach, so um, I'm more aware whenever even I beat myself up, whenever I things happen to me, like I'm more aware and I
Hmm.
can process my emotions right there and then. So then I can, feel better and I can do something. Does that
Hmm.
make sense? So that's
Yes.
kind of how I do it. So because even like beating yourself up is so automatic, to be honest, awfully.
Mm.
It's so automatic. We don't even know what we're doing. We're just doing it
Right.
because we already feel bad and we couldn't even control ourselves at the time.
Wow. Yeah, I
Does
got
that
you.
make
I
sense?
got you.
So
Okay.
this is why you want to be more aware and conscious and then just let it out as much as possible. I like to say, how do you feel good and how do you do things? You have to feel good about yourself. How do you do that? You have to release all of this anger, stress, whatever that is. You have to release it. Otherwise, you're gonna holding the thing in your
Meditation.
body.
Do you do meditation? Is that one advisable thing to help release anger? Because we could sit here all day saying you got to release your anger, but some people's like, well, how do I release it? I keep adding
So,
to it.
so for example, if it's an anger, what I like to do is I like to
Yeah,
just
let's hear it.
what I like to do is if I'm really angry and things like that, I like to get a piece of paper and then like letter out everything I want to say, how angry I am.
Journaling. I preach journaling. Everything I do. I love that you said that. I always tell people write it down. Write it
Seriously,
down.
I do that.
Love
And,
it.
and
Love
and
it.
sometimes here's what's gonna happen with the people
Yes.
who don't really journal. Whenever like they sit down and get a pen and pencil and then they get stuck. Like, what am I gonna say? Like, what am I gonna? They get stuck. So
Once they start,
yeah, you will just have this stuff, right? But here's one thing: if it's a anger thing, I would like to recommend people like be yourself in your a private room. Just you feel safe on your own and get a drink, glass of wine, whatever in
a
the
bottle,
evening
a
before you
bottle of
go to
wine.
the bottle of wine, whatever,
I
and
got
get a
you.
piece of paper and then, and think about the thing that is really angers you or frustrates you, right? And then start journaling and letting it out as much as possible, like literally.
Okay,
I
cool.
used to do that a lot. Then in the morning, what's gonna happen? So here's what I would say when you start journaling, like you're gonna journal until there's no words coming out of your out of your mouth or like no
Your
words
mind.
you are thinking about. And then you just, then you just have a good sleep. And then in the morning you feel so good, girl.
Oh,
Um,
well, see, that's good. That's good advice. There's going to be a lot of journaling. No, I agree. I agree. Write it down.
you,
And I tell people the same thing. When you write it down, it looks so different than what's in your head. And when you look at it on writing,
yeah,
isn't it easy to like say, what the hell? Why would I even go there? It's weird, right? I say it's weird, but it's just so different. It's such a transition between your head and
it is
what you're writing.
weird, but at the same time, if you think about it, the what do you think and what do you say is so different too, if you
Yes,
notice.
yeah. But it's good therapy. I
That's
love what you said that.
exactly why.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
love that.
that's yeah.
I love that. Also want to mention, you had mentioned the cultural between, say, Asians and immigrant women. What is what did I write here? Okay, so hold on here. What's the difference? I wrote here, how do cultural factors influence the self-esteem and success of the
It's
Asian and
yeah,
immigrant women? Does that make sense? I was trying to spell that out, but I'm just going to read the
of
question.
course, it does make sense. Well, to me, I can speak from my like own experience. I can speak from others, right? To me, like how it turns out or how it comes out is that every time I go out and do things, I just never felt like I belong.
Okay.
Yeah, it was weird. Like in a few years, in the beginning, I just, like I want to do things, even like becoming a coach. Like again, like when I started to working with people, actually, I was working with a lot of different type of people, actually, like black, white, whatever. But my mind drama, my I like to say mind drama. It was a mind drama at the time.
Yeah. So you're trying to
Was
help people.
that I feel like I don't belong here, or I don't, I just don't think. they can listen what I have to say because I'm so different than that.
I understand that. And I think you have that, like you said, in immigrant women as well. And I
And
believe
I
that,
you
or even immigrants, anyone in general, if you're not in an area that, say, you were born and raised in, you do feel like you're, I won't say odd one out, but you do. And I know a lot of people from different cultures, and they tell me the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, more I dive in and I notice that it's like even the culture and how I grew up is so different than like the people who grew up here in America.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like make me separate myself from like that makes me feel like I don't belong here. That was the message I was telling myself, and I was never at the time anyway. Um, and because how I grew up and everything is so different, and also and then my identity, I'm Asian. It's like another thing as well. That's one of the reasons why like I like feel even understand more like immigrants what they have what they're going through
Hmm.
because because I have gone through it anyway, and then because also I'm Asian and my identity, I noticed that because I'm Asian, like, and I see like there's a lot of difference, and I can more identify the Asian problem more than anyone else.
Yes,
And
I
that's
agree.
why
I
I feel
understand.
like I understand them even on a different level. And it's easy for me to even help them
Hmm.
because I have gone through it already. But yeah,
Right. And I think every denomination, I think everybody has gone through something. And I know
and
sometimes we just hear
we
one or
all
the
do.
other, but we all do. I mean, I'm American, but my grandparents were immigrants. They were from Italy, and they had their stories too when they came here. You
I
know,
agree.
it
Yeah.
wasn't welcome arms, come on over.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I mean, they were here, they worked their asses off, but I mean, it was not welcoming for them, believe it or not. And even people say, "Oh, you're Italian," like it's popular in this country, but it wasn't always like that. But we moved on from that. I mean, they were definitely, judged and they were prejudiced. It goes every nationality or somebody's going to have some kind of people being prejudiced against them. So yeah, I mean, they had all that stuff too. But luckily, they went through it, and I didn't have to go through it. By the time it got to me, I was they considered me American. But yeah.
Well, because I just moved like 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I moved to America. So like
Hmm.
I have literally gone through and experienced all of it on my own, which is
Yeah.
just really hard. Yeah,
But you made
but
it. And now you're
seriously,
helping
I
other
made it.
women.
Uh, and again, that's one of the reasons why I'm becoming a coach is because I really just want to help other like immigrants and other like Asians and help them to get what they wanted because they can and they deserve it. But often when we are in a different country, we just don't feel like I don't know, like there's isolation. There's like some like gap in there, and but now like looking back and everything, what I see that is that like you just said, right? Like at the end of the day, like I mean, we as a human, we all have our own like problem. When I
Hmm.
say problem, we all have our like this the message whatever is in your head is telling you that you're not
Yes.
good enough, you're not smart enough, right? That was the message was the one is sticking in my head for the entire life, and that was the thing is holding anyone's back in their life, and that was the thing to me, and right now, like I realize no, we all human and we all
Yeah.
have own strength and the weakness. At the same time, even feeling not good enoughness is still kind of in a way normal. Just because you feel it doesn't mean you should identify yourself you're not good enough or don't deserve enough or you're not worthy enough to the things that you want in life. So now I look at myself as I'm human.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I of course I have a problem, and so is everyone else.
Right.
But it's just the thing that is bothering is in our head. We are just our own in our head and having a mind drama about whatever the thing is
Hmm.
bothering us or holding us back in our life. So it's important to like just really stay focused on yourself to help yourself to get out of your own mind drama so you can actually stay focused on things you wanted.
And
Yeah.
not make excuses for that. You grow,
Ex-
you grow, and
Correct.
you
Exactly.
evolve and into who you are, not just
Yeah.
from your skin or nationalities into this person. And that's what you've done. And now you're helping others, which has got to be definitely rewarding and satisfying for you. Would you be able to share maybe a story or two on on a client that you may have helped?
Yeah.
Because we love the
Of
stories.
course. Yes. Well, there are so many. Like I said, like my main focus is working on like Asian women and immigrants, but
Hmm.
for some reason, there are a lot of different types of people actually hire me for a record, black, white again. I don't know. It's the aura, whatever that thing is. It's just resonant with them. So one of the lady that actually I was helping, I'll just tell you, she's a little older lady, like a little older than me.
Hmm.
Um, she was working in a tech company for over 10 years, but she never got promoted over 10 years in her entire life.
Wow.
And her manager actually was the bitchy lady. It was a lady. um, and I really helped her to have to actually work with her manager.
Hmm.
And along the way, I helped her to get a new, better job. And guess what? Within 6 months, so while she was working with her manager and like, working her own skills with me, and then I also help her to getting a new job as well, like to help to have to have a right mindset so she can manifest things in her
Hmm.
life. And well, in the beginning, we were just working on her first, of course, and we were thinking about applying a job for her because the manager was just not good for her. She's just,
Mm.
it
Toxic.
it was just a very
Hmm.
toxic and very bad.
Yeah.
Um, we just started applying her a job, and guess what? She literally got a job right and then, even before she applied a job, and even when she got the job, she got promoted to becoming a manager within the 3 months, which
Beautiful
is
story. Yes. Great. Yeah.
okay. So this lady again, she's closer to 50 years old, and again, she's working for this tech company for 10 years. Um,
Going nowhere. And here, wow.
and then, yeah, and then exactly. And I may always amaze myself at how I help her, but
Yeah. So this is
and
what you need to
at the
talk
end of the
about.
day,
The
at the end of
success.
the
We
day, I
want to
mean, I
hear.
know that she's the one who did the work. I'm the one
But
who
you were
just
the
help her
coach.
to guide her to where she needs to
Hmm.
go. But it's just so amazing. Now she is working in like double her salary first of all, and the
Wow.
manager, and then she has the freedom she got. By the way, in during actually when we were working at the time, also she was in a very toxic relationship with this narcissist for 5 years, and literally started after working a month later, she moved out of this um, the toxic guy she was living with, and
Yeah.
then
So
she
you
got a
helped her with
new
her
place
self-esteem.
even.
Yeah. You helped her with her self-esteem. Built her up. Let her know she
So
know
it
her
was
worth.
amazing.
Yeah.
And
Great.
guess what? Even her, after 6 months later, she started working with me, continue. But and then her daughter, she also like her daughter actually started working with me because she want to help her daughter.
Nice. Beautiful.
Can
Yeah.
you
No, this is a great
imagine?
story. It's okay. No, great story. Thank you. Yes.
And her
Love
daughter
it.
was molested. And again, I'm not
Oh,
gonna mention anyone's
no, that's
name or
fine.
anything.
No, no, no.
My clients, it's very private. But I help her to heal her journey to get out of this trauma. Now she just graduated university, by the way. So now she finished her school, and now she got a new job, and she's so happy and so confident, and she literally owns her stuff. So I healed her as well. So I'm
Thank you
one
for
of
that
the
story.
beautiful.
Yeah. Yes. Very
Thank you.
nice. It's a good feeling. Great. Great, great.
Yeah, it's just so amazing that something like that could
Hmm.
happen. It's yeah, and I believe it can happen to anybody. You know what I mean? So
Very nice. Yes. Very, very nice. So that's your life coaching stories. Um, what else can we swing around to here while you're here? What else can you tell our
yeah.
listeners about your coaching, and anything you want them to know that we didn't talk about? Because we kind of covered it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think what I like to maybe a little bit of share is after also like going through okay, so I was married and divorced like I just said earlier.
Yes.
Basically this marriage like taught me a lot of things in life as well, that how we manifest the people who manifested in your life. Um so also at the time I was in like in a little bit, so the guy happened to be a narcissist guy, by the way. So like
So
point I'm
you were
trying to
married? Is that what you're saying? In not a good
uh
relationship? I don't know if
no,
it's
I'm
my.
divorced. I'm divorced. I'm
Okay, yeah,
happily
I saw it was my
divorced.
headset, but I couldn't hear what you said. You kind of I lost you. Maybe it was my headset. So you were married and divorced. Did you
Yeah.
have
So
your
what?
coaching degree before that, or is it after that?
Actually, that so when we started dating, that was the time actually I literally was finishing my coaching certificate
Okay.
and just starting my business.
Okay, good.
Uh, yeah, it was hilarious. And then I got into a relationship. It was in the beginning again, you couldn't tell who the person is. But I find out the person wasn't the person who he is, and which is so sad. Basically, I was also in a very toxic relationship as well, but I was so determined to get out of it within a year, which I did. So point I'm trying to make was this person make me feel bad all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thrive. I want to do something. I'm very positive. I'm a very nice person, but this person, when you live with the toxic person, and you notice, like, the person is literally suck your energy
Mm-hmm.
every single
Yeah.
time. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's very important to take care of yourself to get what you wanted. And if the person who you're with isn't serving for you, like even though you married for 5 years, 10 years, it doesn't even matter. You have to get out of it because
Good point.
life is too short. To be
Yes.
honest, life is really too short. And you deserve better, even if you think, again, I noticed also, like, I started working a lot of women, helping them to like either getting out of their relationship or just start to working on themselves, so have to feel
Mm.
good and confident about themselves because
Well,
of the trauma they have gone through in the past, or
right.
because of the relationship they have gone through. Go ahead, what were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, don't you feel a lot of people get trapped in those relationships? And it's all, I mean, we don't have to be rocket scientists to say this, but it's because they don't have a self-esteem, because they don't have, a lot of it's finances too to get out of the relationships. But that somehow, it's the biggest thing is having your self-worth and being able to remove yourself from these toxic relationships in one piece. So you would definitely recommend coaching, right? So somebody's going through this, that's like the
This
first thing.
is This is
Yeah.
probably exactly why we need to help each other. We need to
Mm-hmm.
support each other. Yes, you do either wanna have therapist, or you wanna have a coach who resonate with you. You wanna have somebody on your side, because it's so hard to go through this kind of journey when you're alone. And yes, definitely you can get out of it. Yeah, even if you think that you are financially maybe like trapped because the person is who's supporting you.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you one thing. I promise, once you get out of it, you can figure it out. I promise that.
Right.
So even though you think, like, because you also have to think about, like, is this worth of your time? One, right? And is this real? Like, because the more you're gonna be in the relationship, the worse you can get.
Mm-hmm.
It's only getting harder for us to get out of it if you stay there longer. The
Right.
sooner is always better. Do you know what I
Uh,
mean?
yeah, this is a loaded question. I know it's a hard one to
Go
say, but
ahead.
um, do you mind if I ask what was your turning point in your relationship? Because you were married did you say 5 years?
No, it was a marriage lasted 1 year. See,
Oh,
this is
one
how
year. So it
I
was definitely easy for you to kind of easier for you to run out, but you were smart enough to see the red flags, right?
yeah,
Obviously.
and that's why I'm young, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I can figure this out. Like, again, I have gone through a lot of things on my own anyway. I um I only see a light at the end of the tunnel. I was so determined. And that's the thing. I think, you know what? You're telling me like the people who are trapped and don't know how to get out of it because they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Oh
I
no, I
think this
know.
is kind of like the reason why, I mean, of course, we have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe you're worth it, right? You deserve a better life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, of course, in order to do so, you want to have a little bit of better plan in order to get out of it. But don't
Excuse my
feel like
dogs.
no worries. Don't feel trapped that just because you're in it doesn't mean this is gonna be there forever. You know, you
Mm,
have to find a way to get out of it because your life is worth it. You're worth it. And you do not want to regret your life when you get up like 60, 80, 70, 8 years old, and you don't want to regret your life that this is what you have gone through and that you couldn't get out of because you're feeling trapped. That's too pathetic and that would be too sad a story for yourself. And you don't want to do that. Especially if you live in America, you know what? I believe you, anyone can figure it out.
right. Just to get out and get out and stop being taken advantage of or abused. There's so many different factors that play in that
I
role.
I
It's
being in a
identifying
victim,
and getting out.
you know, it's nothing worse than feeling victim and being the victim,
Mm,
to be honest. You know, life is too beautiful to be victimized yourself. Life is there to meant to live.
yeah.
Um, and I know some people can't even see like what I'm talking about perhaps because they are so in their own head about it. But also one thing, like again, you start looking for it and you can get out of it. Just
Good.
start somewhere. Yeah.
No matter what, how deep how
Do
far
not
you're
give up
into
on
it,
yourself.
go, right? Don't
Yeah.
stay. And and I always say everyone's got their own breaking point, right? We all can look, we look at other people's relationships and lives, and you can sit there and say, why are they there? Sometimes you can talk, and it's like they got to make that move on their own, but you just hope you coax them into the understanding what they're saying and that they can go. And it's and for them to know that they'll be okay. They'll get out of this. Once they make that first move, everything will unravel for them and help them go on their
Absolutely.
way. Yeah,
Yes.
cool.
They're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. Like tell yourself you're gonna be okay, to be honest. Yeah, you just want to keep telling yourself. Because you
Gotcha.
are and you will. Look at this America. It's a freaking beautiful country. You're gonna make it.
Yeah.
And if anyone can make it, you can make it. Like
Yeah.
seriously, for
Well, now you
real.
sound like Frank Sinatra, and you're in New York. Frank Sinatra's a singer way before your time who sang New
Yeah,
York.
yeah,
New
yeah, I
York, if
know
you
him.
can make
Yeah, a
it,
little bit.
you can make it anywhere. I used to say about
There you
songs.
go.
Anyway, but
Like, what about you? Are you actually I don't think I know your relationship status.
we're gonna turn this podcast around a bit. Um, my
Only
relationship
if you
says,
want to.
oh yeah, I don't talk about my relationships, but I am a coach. I am a I am a relationship divorce coach. So right there tells you I'm single. No, that's not really the reason, but yeah, I am single. I'm single and happily single. And enjoying life. That's all I
There
can
you
say. I
go,
was
Ichko.
married, I was divorced as well. And we learned from that. And that's all I can say.
What made
That's
you
for
to
another
divorce
podcast.
then?
Huh?
Yeah, what made you to divorce? If you don't mind asking,
The what?
because I want what made you to divorce the guy? Is it he want a divorce or is it you want a divorce?
No, I actually do. Well, I was divorced. I do divorce coaching as well, which that's people that are just very similar. It's like the spinoff what you're saying, get out of the relationship. But a lot of people, when you get out of the relationship, and it's not just the divorce. I'm saying divorce because there's legalities, and I deal and I indulge with a lot of legalities to the divorce as well, and I help people navigate through the legalities, not just the
Oh,
emotional side to it. But and I
but
did write a
that's
book.
great.
Yeah, I need to write a book. It's coming out. It's kind of taken forever to come out, but yeah, I did. It's called The Divorce Blueprint. It's been coming out for a year. I had to keep. It's been a nightmare. Anyone
Dude,
who's
people
wrote
need
a book,
that.
yeah, I kept having to change editors. I had to change this. It was a lot of work. So hopefully
I
we're on
can
the.
only imagine. Yeah.
So yeah, if
Yeah,
that is it.
yeah. Well, I'm happy for you also you got out of it and look at
Yeah,
you. Yeah, I mean, I do remember there were times like I need a lawyer and things like that. I was like looking, like literally Googling all the time to figure it out. Um,
Well,
I'm glad you're writing that kind of book. So
yeah, well, you know
for
what it is too?
sure.
Yes, thank you. And the funny thing, now we're going to spin this on me. The divorce coach, and a lot of people are like, wasn't that like you said, relationship? No, it's different because there's a lot of, legalities. And I do work with lawyers as well that will, if they have clients that will come to them, instead of just going to say a therapist, or I will help them through that as well. In mediation, I've gone in like for negotiating deals, you know. So I kind of do, it's not just, getting through the emotional side of it. It's the finance side too. And that's huge, huge. So
I bet. I bet.
it's a little
Yeah.
crazy. A story for another time. Anything else you'd like to discuss
Absolutely.
on your time?
No, I think that's it. I point I'm really trying to make is really, I think, um, just take care of yourself and feel good about yourself. And even if you're not happy, do something about it.
Want you, can you send me your website or how people can get a hold of you? And you can send that through the email. You can say it out loud as
Absolutely.
well, unless you want to tell me, and then we could do both.
Yeah,
You
it's
want to just,
ichkojackson.com, and all my social media are the same as well. So if you just type it, Ichko, Ichko Jackson,
yeah, we're gonna put that on
Instagram,
there.
and
We'll put that on there
my
as well.
website is going to be the same as ichkojackson.com. So that would be my website as well. So
Perfect. So
yeah,
we'll write that. We're gonna put that in there anyway when we're done. So
absolutely.
people
Yeah.
can look at that and they want to get a
Well,
hold of
thank
you.
you so much
I
for having me.
appreciate
It's
it. I
been
appreciate
really fun,
yeah, it
interesting
was fun.
topic. Yeah.
Good chatting with
Yeah.
you. And we'll talk. Don't go nowhere yet. I'm just gonna stop the recording and before you head out, I gotta get some information from you. All right.
Okay.
Thanks again for being part of the Storytime with Ellie podcast, where our motto is everybody has a story. Hope it's yours. Thanks.